Good morning. Sounds like it's on. Just want to stand here and let y'all get a good look at me.
I don't want to get that.
I don't blame you. Good morning. If you don't know me, I'm Chuck Anderson. I was a member of this congregation for 2011 till 19, I think. And what's that? Thank you. Jeff corrected me. We'll go ahead and get started when Sherry sits down.
Thank you.
Love her. Oh, and Jim's still, Sherry?
Yes.
Jim's still ongoing studies with Diane.
Yes, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it is. In 2015, I presented a proposal to the shepherds here to go up and work up in lower northern Michigan. Really haven't done a lot over the bridge, except camp. You know, it's beautiful for that. And in 2019, and I have to say, 15 was a proposal. It happened in 19 because the shepherds were very cautious that we don't go up there and, fall on our face. So we were going back and forth with meetings and this and that. What's your plan? All this. They were very thorough. And Michelle, my wife, and I could not be happier where we're at. And last year, Jim Myers and I came down, and we spoke about the work. And I wanted you to hear it from the horse's mouth, right from Jim, not just my reporting, so you can see and hear one of the main men on the ground. He preaches in Alpena. Dale DeVerney preaches in Rogers City. And keep Dale in your prayers. He went into emergency. I was down here, I think it was on Saturday, I got the text. And he said, can you preach for me tomorrow? I'm at the ER. They think it's gallbladder related. Now, he had his gallbladder out, but something's still producing stones. So, he's got some issues with that. He said, can you preach in Rogers City today? And I said, yeah, I got nothing planned, except water. I said, I can't, man. I'm in Waterford, and I'm sorry. So what I want to do right now is let me give you just a little opening. We have been up there since 2019. Y'all have supported us, and we just could not be more grateful. It's one thing to figure out where you fit in the kingdom. I mean, we all need to be doing that. It's another thing to have folks and other people and things that can help you get progressing on that path. It's another thing to have a place to utilize it. And we are so blessed for the years we spent here and for the few years we have spent in lower Michigan. It always sounds like a contradiction. Lower Michigan. If you don't know Michigan, it doesn't make sense. And we plan to spend the rest of our lives there. That will comfort you to know that we're not coming back. Dole up the cash, fellas. No, I'm just kidding. No, the work up there is progressing just phenomenally. And when we talk about it, and we talk like I talked, and we'll talk in the second service about kingdom building, it's not just evangelism. It's protecting and developing the individuals and mentoring. We are in Sheboygan until June 1st. That was our 3-year agreement when we went up. We found a house in Hillman that we've been in the process of purchasing, and prayerfully we will own it by the end of the month. We don't have to be out of Sheboygan until June 1st. So we have a couple of months to make that move, which we've been packing for a while. So it will be like a one fell swoop. And I know y'all love this, but I will let you know when moving day is. Isn't it great? You get down, somebody calls you and say, "Can you help us move?" Yes, no. You want to say, it's just not fun. But that's all right. we'll let you. If you can, great. If not, one nice thing is we have a couple of months to just move it over there bit by bit and piece by piece, et cetera. And there's a lot of brethren up there that will help us. Let me start out by giving you the opportunity to ask questions, because I've got a lot of names I'm going to mention tonight in the assembly of folks from up north. And you may not put a face on it if you haven't been up there. But I'm going to tell you what, it's exciting. It's very exciting. And my fondest wish is that every single Christian, not just here at Waterford, but on the planet, could taste evangelism, whether it's reaching out to someone, whether it's actually sitting and teaching, or if it's following up and training and mentoring them. Phenomenal joy. Other than my marriage and the birth of my daughter and the day I was baptized, I don't know of any greater joy. I had a lot of them, but greater joys. Like my daughter being the spelling bee champion of the 5th grade. What's that? I know. My granddaughter Zoe, spelling bee champion of the 5th grade. Woo-hoo! That's great, but enough about her. I really want you to just ask, what's going on? What are some of the biggest highlights? What are the... there's a lot of hard times, make no mistake. I know we're only 4 out. We're not in Pakistan or Uganda. We're only 4 out. Not yet, Tom. So, I miss this guy so much. I'm just incredibly so. Yes?
I'm kind of curious, since you've been up there for these few years, is there any, it's a little bit different of an area than here. Has there have you adjusted your approach at all in how you go about teaching or inviting people or anything like that?
My approach, and everybody's a little bit different. There's not a canned line. You go up and say, "Hi, I'm Chuck Anderson. How are you doing today?" Now, my approach is usually my personality. I try to make friends. And I'll walk into the dealership where we bought our car, and Christina goes, "Oh no." And we've met. Christina and I have met. But you know what? That always leads to, in time, a conversation. There's usually 2 things. I'll approach like that, or I'll ask questions. If you see someone who is sad, down, say it was you. Say, "Oh, you all right?" Whether it's at a store or somewhere, do you need help with anything? We can just sit down and try it. Sometimes. And if they want to talk, they will. If not, and I'll say, "Okay," I said, "I don't know your name, I'm going to ask you," especially if it's me asking a woman, they get a little freaky. And I don't blame them. I see females shaking their head. Guys, be cautious of that. It gets weird. And you know what? I say, "My name's Chuck Anderson. If it's Roger City, I'm with the Roger City Church of Christ. If there's anything we can do, Petersville, 23. Let us know." And drop it. Or if she wants to talk, okay. Stuff like that. Remember, well, yeah, you were in the first service, right? Human nature. It's the same. I mean, everybody's a little bit different. I mean, you take somebody like George Exum. You talk about different. Go ahead, George. Oh, buddy. So you approach people where they're at. And I try to develop a friendship. Now, up north, down here, doesn't matter. People are people. And there may be some cultural adjustments you make. Up there, it's Northern Rockwell. Serious. It's like old-time, small-time South America. You open the door for, you see other men opening a door for a lady, and you don't even know her because she's coming into this door. She walks in, he walks away. Just that community mindset is awesome. Hey, it's wonderful. Somebody back has a earache. I'm sorry,
Microphone?
Here.
You can grab that microphone. See?
We can't pick you up on the recording, so if you could use the mic. Thank you.
You're welcome. Somebody had a hand up. Who was it? Come on, don't be shy. Oh, yes, sir.
Your work up north, are you primarily with one congregation, and or are you working with most of the congregations up there? And if so, how are you working with the other congregations?
Great question. Are we working with one congregation, every congregation, or what? The answer is no. This will surprise you to the second question. Some of them didn't want me. Yeah, I know. I'll give you a moment. But it's true. And I'm serious, very serious. We went up in 19, and the intention was 6 months there, come back in November. 6 months, November. When I came back on the second one, the elder said, "You want to be up there full time?" I was, yes. A lot of things we didn't anticipate. And that's okay, because you adapt. Nothing horrendous. We primarily work with Rogers City and Alpena, primarily. Now, I feel that we live just 2 blocks from the Sheboygan church, but we don't work with them. I've offered, and they say, "We're good." Okay, love you. Wonderful people. We had intended to come down and work with West Branch for 3 months. Again, wonderful people, love them. But they're down to about 9 people. They were 36. And they said, "Can you help us?" I said, "I think God can use us to help you." And the reason I emphasize that is a lot of you have said, "Oh, you're doing a great work up there, et cetera, et cetera." And I appreciate it. It's a kind, give honor to honor's due, and that kind of thing. And we appreciate it. But the reality is God is doing a great work through us, and all the people around the country who help support us, the preachers up there, and the congregations. God's all working all this out. Somebody had asked me, "What do you think you can do up there?" I said, "I don't think I can do much of anything. But what God can do with us," Ephesians 3:20, those of you that were in the first worship, or if you just remember that verse, He can do exceedingly abundantly beyond. And what we had originally talked about with the elders when we were moving up has gone beyond what I thought. Now, to continue your answer, yes, primarily with Rogers City and Alpena. And we spend time in Harrisville because it is our intention to plant a congregation over there. Before you can do that, you got to get Oscoda to grow and Alpena, because Harrisville is like halfway down 23. And so we plant a church there. You know you're going to lose some people from Alpena, or I guess gain them from Alpena and from Oscoda. So both congregations are aware of that. We want to start a congregation there. So to do that, our move is over to Hillman. Hillman is 30 minutes. If you ask Michelle, it's 28. It's 30 minutes. See, I count traffic. Hey. Alpena is like 34, 30 minutes. So we're like a half an hour away from both of them. That's awesome. Harrisville is about an hour. I'm sorry?
30 minutes to Rogers City.
Yeah, what'd I say?
You didn't say.
Oh, it's about, it is. If you call Michelle, it's 28. But 30 minutes away. Here's what it does for us. We're in Sheboygan. You got Rogers, the other way. You got Rogers City, Alpena, and then down to Oscoda. You're not going to get people to go to Sheboygan week after week for a Bible study. they're going to drive 3 hour and a half and an hour and a half home. It just doesn't happen. So we really wanted to get over closer to them. Now, Michelle can enhance, she's such a hospitality gal, and I seriously mean that. When you came up, remember she had dinner on the table? And I served mine. She goes, Chuck, guests first. I said, Steve, who cares? But she's that, she's that detail-minded. Mints are on the pillow, right? Little Andes or Giardella or whatever they are. And you have your own bedroom and bathroom. I look at Tom, and Tom came up, and he was with Steve, and it was a weekend that was a blur. They were awesome. So, that being the case, we get over towards Hillman. Yes, Rogers City, Alpena, and the study in Harrisville will enhance. But we're also going to be able to bring people to us. I can add 5-6 studies a week. That's accelerating the efficiency of Northern Michigan for Christ immensely. And so we're always looking ahead. Okay, then what next year? Then what? Then what? Then what? So it's very important for us to think that way and keep you informed. Anybody else? Question? Lila.
One thing about our society now is everybody is in a hurry, okay? And to meet these people that Chuck's talking about, you have to have time because they will, when you start talking to them, this is the best tool I use. These are little index cards that we have in the lobby. And what I do at the end of the conversation is say, would you like to take one of my cards? Where I worship at, I would love to see you on Sunday morning, blah, blah, blah. And then a lady would stand next to me, she said, oh, can I have one of those cards? Now, whether they come here, I don't know, but the thing of it is, you're trying, and that's what God likes. You might never see them again. You might not like it, but I will say, Chuck, the only thing that I disagree with what you just said earlier was, our culture now is changing so much that people don't want you to talk to them. They don't know if we're like immigrants or if we're this or we're that. So they shy away from you, but don't let that stop you. Because I believe that this could be a challenge with you and your God.
Lila, I disagree with the fact that you disagree with me. That's my only rebuttal. It is. It's a different culture up there, so you do shift and adjust. But people are people. And I realize they're a little infiltrated here than there in a different way. But they're still human beings. They hurt. They don't have agape love. It's not available outside of Jesus. And when we just do things to make them wonder, why did he do that? He didn't drop that paper. I saw him get out of his car. Why did he pick it up and put it into the trash? People just notice you. Little things like that. And there's 1,000 that we could name. Did I answer?
Actually, what I was wondering also is, what do you do with the other congregations? I mean, do you have your Brothers Keepers program? Do you teach them how to implement that? Do you conduct Bible studies elsewhere? I know that your presence is known up there, but I just don't know how.
I will not go to any congregation, number one, who doesn't want us. And if I go to work with them, it has to fit with what's currently going on. Now, West Branch would have been tough for 3 months, Thursday through Sunday, and then come back up into the north. But I would have done it because they needed it. But I don't know if you've heard of home missions. It's a work of some folks in the church, and they're doing a good thing. They went to Harbor Springs. Jim has them coming to Alpena, and it's free. It's pretty. Steve can give you a lot more information than I can. He's more versed on it than I am. But West Branch has chosen to go with them. So now, the mission statement is we want to come up and present an evangelism sustainable model. So we will go through the bringing, the teaching aspect, and the keeping with them. They get the materials, the books we've written, the books we've written. if they don't want to do all three, I've had people come, well, I just want to see the timeline only. No. Because that's not going to have a sustainable model. And it's taken from Matthew 28, 18 to 20, where Jesus said, all authority is mine. Go. That's the bring. As you go, bring people in contact with me. Make disciples. You have to teach them to make a disciple out of them. And then he says, you baptize them, teaching them to observe all I've commanded you. So you got bringing, you got teaching, and you got keeping. Our mission is to establish that in congregations and help drive it, ride it. Hey, congregation, no, just come give us this. No. Too many places have we just want the timeline, or we just want the bringing. Do you have any teachers? No. So they have to step back. And so if a congregation wants us to come and work, we feel a strong sense of responsibility, number one, to follow the mission. And we take it seriously with those who are sacrificing to help support us. We want to do it. We want to do it the best we can. And I don't think, if you don't follow the words of Jesus from Matthew 28, 18 to 20, that you're ever going to set up any sustainable model of evangelism. Because you have to have all three. If you don't bring them, who are you going to teach? But if you bring them and teach them, but you don't follow up with them, where are they? They're gone. And by the way, I think the dates may be wrong, but when we were here, Michelle and I were here, I think it was 15 through 18, our retention rate of those whom we baptized was over 90%. We kept 9 out of 10. And I remember this stat, which is so powerful. 89% of those that we baptized brought a friend or someone to study with them. You see what we mean by sustainable? It just keeps going. We've got a couple studies going on up north that they're not even a Christian and they're bringing friends. It happens all the time. It's a constant. So it's not only about how do you reach out to people, how do you approach people and such, because once you get a few that you're studying with, man, there's a ripple effect from all of them. And they start bringing people. It's so exciting. I beg of you to come up there. I really sincerely do. Well, we don't know you, Chuck and Michelle. We don't care. Come on. Now, we're not going to have you preaching on street corners unless you want to. But you can come up and just follow us around and meet the folks, some that I'll talk about tonight. And just meet them. There's a guy up there I always call Curtis. Looks just like him. He also just got out of prison. You wonder where he's been? Sing Sing. No, his name is Pierce, and man, this guy's exciting. So he's already brought at least 3 people. One I haven't met yet, some guy named Cliff. Hope his last name's not Clavin for all you Fraser, Cheers fans. But he can't stand it. He's like a giddy little schoolgirl about his faith. And man, he'll keep bringing people. So I'll say more about him tonight. Did that do it? Okay. I have a tendency to stay on target all the time. Beth.
So it sounds like you're doing lots of teaching. Are you training other people or other people doing studies?
Yes. She says, sounds like I'm doing a lot of the teaching, are others. I had mentioned to Sherry that Dwayne's sister, Diane, whom Jim taught and baptized, he's still continuing those studies there. He's got, there's a couple, I can't remember her name. She's got 2 little girls. She's been worshiping in Alpena. And then she brought a friend, Michelle. And Jim is setting up studies with them. Dale, he's got study. Dale is amazing. We call him the mayor of Rogers City. or the king. He knows everybody. And he is so well respected there. The man is blessed with wisdom amazingly. And Rogers City, I'm going to tell you this, I usually don't do this, but I think Rogers City will hit 60 within the next couple of years. If something doesn't happen to cause a crack. I doubt it will. But Satan, he hates us just like he hates y'all. So please, don't ever think, well, you're not going to hurt us. We're growing and yada, yada. Careful how you grow. Did I come remotely close to answering your question? Yeah, others are teaching, yes. It's not just me. But I love it. You want to know something? I'll confess to you. You listening? She said no. Sleep. I'm one of the world's worst bringers. I'm serious. Those that I reach out and talk to, I don't get a lot of takers. But you get Pierce and these others, and they, hey, my friend's coming. Wish I had a friend. Maybe I could invite him or her. But it's just true. And I don't have a problem with it. I love the teaching. I love the back and forth. And it's always been exciting to me. So, yes. And we do a how to teach a timeline training every year also. So usually we have 6, maybe 8 that go through it. Same thing we did at our house, boy, a long time ago. You know. So, come on, because I'll start rambling. You don't want that.
So what are your plans for Harrisville?
Plans for Harrisville, great question. And when I say Harrisville, and as you're looking down you'd be looking down the East Coast. Harrisville is about halfway between Alpena and Oscoda. And when I say Harrisville, it may come in to include Spruce or Lincoln or Mankato or whatever. In fact, Lincoln has a high school. And a lot of the folks from the border go to the high school. So if we planted a church there, we'd be very visible to parents and children alike. So we started a fund to plant a congregation. I would suggest a few years down the road. Because again, you have to grow Alpena, and Oscoda's in. They're not against us doing that. But if you put it halfway between, again, you're going to siphon members who live in that area to go there, which is okay, as long as the other congregations are continuing their sustainable model of evangelism. I have no plans to work with like 6 congregations a month. Can't do it, too thin. And you're not spending enough time with the ones who are nurturing and developing. So a couple of really good questions. Thanks, Kim. Jeannie, I love you. You are so special. Curtis? Anybody have another question?
Hey, Chuck,
Yes, sir.
I've had we'll call it pleasure,
Stop it.
of going up with you and spending some time with you.
Can you hear him in the back? He said, I'm one of the handsomest guys he's ever met in his entire life.
Wait, I didn't get my hip waders. Hang on.
Go ahead.
I know what it's like to spend a day with you. Give these people an idea of one of your busier days. How much time you spend.
Now it's Thursday. Thursday is tough for me because I teach Bible class Wednesday night. We're going through the distinctive nature of the church by Ed Wharton in Rogers City. So now I go back an hour to Sheboygan. By 11 o'clock, I'm in Alpena. We taught and baptized a Jewish woman, Janet. Oh, man, I wish y'all could just come up and hug her. She's so thirsty. She doesn't know how to use a cell phone. Send her a text, call her, voicemail's not set up. And we got to get a 7-year-old to get up there and help her out with her, her electronics. But she just wants it. So she's a new Christian. She's already wants us to talk with her granddaughter. And her granddaughter says, okay, Grandma, I want to know why you were baptized. Boy, that's a good lead-in for a study. She has a live-in roommate, Linda. And Janet called me a couple weeks ago and says, Linda would like to just talk to you because she's got some issues. I said, love to. So I got there that morning at 11 o'clock, and Linda decided she didn't want to talk. But she just kind of hovered in and out around the Bible study. So while I was talking to Janet, I was talking to Linda. So I focused on things that were kind, lovely, praise of Jesus, and things like that. Then at 12:30, I go about 5 blocks down the street to the Alpena Church of Christ church building. And I study with Bob and Erica, 2 newer Christians. Bob, 6, 7 months, I think, and then Erica's about 3 years now. So we're there at the building. Now that study is a little open-ended. It rarely does a stop at an hour, hour and a half. We'll be there for 2 hours because they want it. Then at 4:15, I have to pick up Rachel. Rachel Hayes, I'm going to tell you, if I had a son her age and he wasn't going after her, I'd knock him down. She is a doll. She's been in the Lord just a few months. We taught her a couple of years ago the timeline. She was 18. She's now 22. She came back and said, I want to be baptized. One of the most powerful things, she said, I want Chuck to baptize me. Man, I cried. Now, I don't care if I baptize somebody or I teach somebody and somebody else baptizes. It means nothing to me. The end result is what we're after. Now, I remember, your granddaughter.
Which one?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Kristen. Dave Parks was here. And after an assembly, Kristen walked up and talked to Dave, and Dave baptized her. Then he realized after, and man, he came straight to me. He says, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were studying with her. I said, I don't care. What happened up there is all we're after. But he was so apologetic. And I enjoy sitting and watching, especially Janet. Janet is probably in her 70s. She couldn't be more delightful. Love her. I enjoy being at her house. Well, I took her in the back behind the baptistry, and I said, this is what's going to happen. Put my finger over your nose and just buckle your legs. You'll go straight down. I'll make sure the water comes over you, and when you feel me push on your back, come on up. Well, it didn't happen that way. We were in the water, and as I was lowering her into the water, she put a death grip on the side of the baptistry. Now, I've got a 70-year-old woman who's got a lot of health problems, half dunked. She's under the water, except her arm. I don't want her under there for 2 minutes max. So I had to grab her arm, making sure she's under, and looking at her the whole thing, and then she came up. And I said, Janet, you fought me. She goes, you scared me. I told you what I was going to do. And she's already bringing people. So then I go to Ostinique and I pick up Rachel. And then we go down to Harrisville at Kim York's house. We study with this brand new sister. She's just a doll. She's a sweetie. And Kim has been a Christian for about 3 years. And we have seen, when you work with her, you see the growth. And she's like a second mom to Rachel. So we have that study at 4:30, pick Rachel at 4:15, study at 4:30. Then we had 2.5 hours back home So I leave the house at 9. I get home about 9. And most of the time is, driving. It's one of the huge advantages of us moving over there closer. And we're ecstatic to do that. Yes, sir.
So it sounds like a good portion of what you do is bring, teach, and keep. I mean, you're talking about continuing to study with people who've already been baptized.
Oh, absolutely.
That's important to help them to stick, right? And you get them involved with other people that you're just now studying with.
Yes. There's all kind. We go out to lunch with Robert Westerman, who Dale baptized, and have you met him, Joe, Jerry? You'll love him. Have you met Curtis? Yes. Actually, Pierce helped us move into the house 3 years ago. Then he went away for 2 years in prison for DUI, and he's out. He was baptized, and he's so excited. It's just awesome to see. So yes, we're doing the bringing, we're doing the teaching, we're doing the keeping. And although Rogers City had 41 last Sunday, I'm going to say about 10 of them were regular visitors that haven't really accepted a study yet, but man, do they love the group there. Said, okay, in time, we will do it. So, people I don't know. Yeah, I'm looking at you. And you. And you. Are you with Doug? Or are you just in the same row? Man, they're in denial, Doug. They're, no, it's her, and they're pointing at me. And any questions? They're yours? Never mind. Not a 4-hour class. Any questions? I and Michelle and I are as excited as we were in 15 when we first proposed it to the shepherds. Nothing has changed except the energy that we receive, yes, from being here with you, but the energy of seeing these younger ones grow and develop in Christ. They are remarkable. I'll talk about Alicia and Amanda, 2 people that Dale taught in the jail and baptized, and they've been attending. They've been released, and they're attending. So it's good stuff. Felix.
I have 2 questions for you. Did you grow up in the church, or were you added to the church in your life?
No.
We got that.
I'm sorry, I don't know you very well, so I guess I'm just trying to get a little.
Then why are you asking me something so personal? I was love the visitors. You don't have to deal with them. I was raised in a denominational world. I became a Christian when I was 23. Met Michelle that year or the next year. Peggy, I may be off. Life's been a blur since, in a good way. So no, I was added by the Lord to the church in 1982, I think. Let's see. Katie was born in 83. We were married in 85. No, I got those dates backwards. We were married in 83. Katie was born in 85. So, is that what you're looking for? Yeah. Katie's my wife. Sorry.
Boy, you're getting worse.
So my other question is, what is your personal motivation? What is it exactly that drives you to keep going when it gets tough?
2 things, Jesus Christ, and I want to go to heaven. And I want to take as many people with me as I can. That's my motivation. And oh no. Put that down, Dave. That's a twofold motivation. Number one, what Jesus did for me. See, I know me, you know you. I know him too, so we'll talk. Yeah. What he's done for me is incredible. It's not beyond words because we can explain it, but not in totality because he's done things for me I don't even know he did. Count your many blessings. Good luck with that. They're so numerable. So what he's done, I remember I was baptized and it was about within a few weeks. And I looked back on my upbringing and thought, man, well, I've got about a 50-50 chance to make it. I didn't have a coin to flip. I couldn't through the teaching I had adhered to. I was baptized. God bless Paul Shandeville. Right, Don? Yeah. I remember one night, I got the chills. I mean, it was like I shook because I thought, what if Paul wouldn't have reached out to me, my buddy Paul? And I thought, there's a lot of people that need to hear this. And I think that was the spark, the initial thought process that moved me and motivated me. And in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, this year everybody in Michigan is going to become a Christian, right? You know, the energy of a brand new babe. And next year, I'm going to go to Ohio and work on them for well, they're Buckeyes. They might need about 10 years of it. No, I joke about that. But that was like the springboard of thought that I remember. And from there, I've been blessed by so many people to mentor and help me. My father-in-law, probably his most famous, most often said line to me, stop it, Margaret, was, Chuck, you can't operate like that. Right? That you can hear Mike saying that, right? He was so good to me because he wasn't afraid to kindly say to me, can't do that. Were they going out for sack lunches? Thank you. Let me impassionately plead with you to come up. Spend a weekend. Spend a week. We don't care. You know, you'll be with Michelle most of the time, so, but if you want to ride with me and go on these studies, come on. They will love you. Thank you. What?